Boom.
Yo.
Y'all, we still hear each other and everything, huh?
Yeah.
We was having a little problem. Hello, 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 all of you out there in our Haywood CPA live land. If you were on the live stream, the New Year's Eve extravaganza, we had a different setup. So now we back to our you know,
Regularly
to
scheduled
our
program.
separate pods because the power was too great on that show. So the regulators said that we needed to, you know, keep it separate because you cats are something special in the air. So we back to what we got going on right here. So glad to have everybody here with us. Um, we got like some real craziness. The background over the holiday, the background got crazy, man. I don't know what's going on here. It's a
Yeah,
little
people
mad.
trying new things. It's a new year,
Yeah, but that's really crazy. You know what
new
I'm saying?
programs.
Yep, new energy, new all that. So since the people ain't seen you since last year, man, what's good, man? What's
Just the I guess the key theme here is organizing works.
true, true.
That's, I mean, that you can unpack that all by itself. So getting organized. So what you're planning on doing. So it's kind of it's a mix, right?
Mm-hmm.
What you plan on doing, what your plan last year was for this year. Then actually getting things completed, getting things implemented, learning new things, increasing and improving your understanding, and then even looking at what you didn't accomplish last year and on how to bring it over to this year because last year's planning was done in the previous year. So if you didn't bring it over to this year, then we got to look back and see what didn't you bring over to this year that needs to be completed at some point, right? So the new year is off to an interesting race, interesting start. How about yourself?
All right, yo, this is the new year, man. I'll put the background. That's what
Oh,
we
he
talking
got
about
he
right
got
here. You see
the
that?
Benjis.
Yo,
All
man,
about the
this is so
Benjis.
ridiculous, right? So
Hmm?
first picture I could find, man. Some motivation. Even though, and we talk off and on, as you said, we're planning the new year. It's not all about the Benjamins, but it is about the Benjamins. It's not all, but it is. So I just picked this as a background because the background they had for us was a little ridiculous. I may change it in the show, a little later. So
No doubt.
we have our number one fan that said good morning. Good
Good
morning,
morning.
one fan. Yeah, you know, you know, some relation there.
Top of the
So,
month. Hello.
it's all good. So yeah, I mean the new year, not much has changed since the online extravaganza. I mean the New Year's extravaganza hasn't been too much change for me. Okay, that's not true. It's
Oh,
not.
yeah, I was saying, yeah, right. As they say, capping, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying, man. Um, just got new energy. You know what I'm saying? That's all. All I'm saying is, remember the clip I sent. If anybody, we know, because it's not suitable for all audiences. Let's just say that if you heard the secret recording of Kirby Smart's pregame speech to the Georgia Bulldogs before the national championship game, that's what I'm on. Simple as that. I'm gonna say that. Now, you can look it up, even if you're not a sports person. Just look up Kirby Smart national pregame speech, national championship. I'll put Cortastic on it, and it
Yeah,
drove.
I listened to it this morning.
Yeah, it's every day. That's like I did carry them a couple of days, couple of days through your undisclosed injury. It was able to give you enough to keep it moving. Yeah, that's what I'm on right there. So that's so you gotta do some research if you want to know what I'm on, um, in our own way and what we do. So that's what I got going on. But I'm excited. It's a new year, new you, all that good stuff. And I'm excited to make more content. You know, do the lives and do some explainer videos and kind of get into questions and teaching. I think this is a year of teaching. This is about teaching, maybe teaching you.
Your microphone's going out.
It's going out.
All right, there
What?
you go. You back now. You faded out for a hot second.
Yeah, I had to because I had to say something.
Yeah,
It's microphone placement. This thing's
yeah.
very sensitive, by the way.
Absolutely.
It's high level, but it's so sensitive.
Yeah.
So make sure you keep your volume up. But yeah, it's a year of teaching, man. It's a year to teach. It's time for us to step levels up. All of us, clients, clients, everything. It's time to step up. No need to be stagnant. Um, yeah, I ain't playing. That's all I'm saying. I got to get the sound clip, but I said on the New Year's Eve broadcast, I ain't taking no shorts. And I mean, I'm not taking any shorts. So that's that. I'm not even taking shorts for myself. That's how real it is.
Well, that's where it starts.
No doubt. You know what I'm saying? So that's where we are. So yeah, you're the purveyor. I'm gonna let you do your thing. I know you see you're the deep thinker. You know, you're
I don't think that has activated yet.
oh, okay. So we gotta wait for all your coffee to kick in. Whoa! Look
Something got
who's in here.
something's got to activate.
Look at that. Look who's in here.
Uh-oh.
Ah,
Yeah.
look at her. All right.
Uh-huh.
El Doctor. We got doctors in the is there a
Yes, we
doctor in
do.
the building?
Is it a doctor? Anybody?
Yeah,
Anyone a medical physician? A
yeah.
doctor?
So we got
Can you help?
a PhD and a PA. This is a high level show here.
Uh-oh.
A lot of credentials around here. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. Well, let's talk about some things. How YouTube can take no shorts in 2023. Sit. I'm just setting it off. This is going to be my version, obviously PG, of the Kirby Smart speech. Now, and he actually it makes sense what he was saying. Okay. Everybody, we know what we're doing. There's a lot of talented people out here that are suppressing themselves. We're suppressing ourselves. We're kind of holding on, trying to get the right move, right time. We're trying to, calculate it. We were careful, so on and so forth. While there's a bunch of suckers out here just doing stuff, messing stuff up. They mucking up the works out here. They really are, man. And I'm tired of it. I know a lot of intelligent, capable, talented people that are sitting in the back of buses. I mean, that's totally ironic that we on MLK weekend. That just was total coincidence. I really did. But
you're properly aligned, aren't you?
yeah, but the proverbial back of the bus. And I think it's just time that more people say, listen, I told you, I'm not one to get on here and be all, you can do it and all that. You got plenty of that on the internet. You can get 1,500 memes a day to tell you how great you are and you could do it. All right. You come to me after you figure that out. All right. And you figure out how do we get this done. And part of it is doing it, not being afraid to fail. Go out there and do your thing. And what's most important is that there's information out here. Information is open source. The best thing that has happened and I feel like is happening in the country. We opened up the information sources and then encourage people not to read. You think about it. Information's all over the place. We encourage people not to read.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So as been said, in the land of the blind, the man with one eye is the king.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So you got people that we sitting up here and letting people, because you can pretend to be whatever you want. You can pretend to be anything. You can call yourself a corporate title just because you wake up on Thursday. One day you the CEO, next day you the Grand Poobah, the next day you the Supreme Commander. You whatever. You do whatever. I'll be whatever. I'm a publicist. I'm this. I'm a yeah. See, this is it sounds a little petty. I know. You this. You're a coach. You're marketing. You're a social media expert. It's nothing. And especially you get Canva. You can make yourself be whatever you want. But how much do you know about what you say you do?
We're
That's
not
my
paid.
question.
We're not paid for that advertisement, by the way.
Oh yeah, my bad. Well, you pick up your little because there's tons of those too. It ain't just Canva. But you
We're
get
not,
so
we're not sponsored by that name
yeah,
again.
we're not. Well, it's just there's a lot of play. You get your little graphic design program, and then you make yourself look like whoever. You make it look like our background picture, $1 million or such. That's not even a million in the picture. That's too much. Let's not get into that. So it's easy. It's easy to pretend, or it's easy to legitimately start a business. It's easy to have a business. We've got the gig economy. You could do this. You could be the senior director of logistics, and that's an Uber driver. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like you can do that. But where today's no short moment is how much do you know about the industry that you're in? You know, because I know one thing. There seems to be a lot of people that know about our industry. They go Google it and they come tell us about what's going on in the tax world. I mean, they know everything, and then they cousin in them, and somebody told them that, so everybody knows that somehow. But if I were to turn around and ask them, well, what's the average gross net profit margin in your business line? What do you think the answer would be? Yeah, exactly. I never thought about that. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. I'm
Are you
not
talking
taking it.
about? Are you talking about research and education and
Yeah,
understanding?
because you doing a bit. This is my thing. I spend a lot of time, and I'm not like I always say on the show. I'm not saying you should do the same, but I keep working to get better because I know I don't know everything. Matter of fact, I know I don't know everything. So I learn. I talk to people. I find out what they're doing. I'm doing that, and guess what? That's free. It don't cost you no money.
Are you talking about relationship building?
Oh yeah, but I'm saying even you got books, you got authorities, you have things about what you do. There's a couple of prospects that I know you worried. Look, I'm not gonna say nothing, but
Who
I have
worried? Me? Well, I'm not worried.
not you worried. I'm talking about
Oh,
the people that know. Yeah,
got
that let's just say in situations where we may have come across a prospect and we're not sure we're gonna hear back from them. I tend to research their industry. Now I'm a business. I just think business like I don't know, and I've always. I mean, since I was a kid, I always been thinking about business. So it's kind of like I'm hitting the golden age now, where I can comprehend all the different aspects. So I'm on like it's euphoric for me right now. I know that's just sounds really exciting. Good thing I'm already married, because that definitely is not interesting subject matter. But my point is I really learned, so we can't help a business unless we know their business and then know their industry. So we have to have some level of understanding the industry. But often
correct.
we find out that we know more about the industry than the person who's supposed to be in it and the expert. Why is that?
Well, because we come from the foundational approach up. The elevator starts at the bottom.
Yeah, but I'm talking about for them. Why they don't know it. I ain't talking about
Oh,
why we
I
do know.
don't know.
I'm saying, why is
Um,
I've heard some incredible things in 2022.
technician,
Incredible.
E-Myth technician. We're not sponsored by that name either,
No,
but
no, definitely not.
but very important book.
Yeah. Yeah. See? Oh wow. Look at this. We getting comments today. It's Katie Tolan. You know what?
Hey, Katie.
Yeah, Katie. Without
Katie, I have to call you as a matter of fact.
yeah,
I'll call
because
you this week.
that's actually is a triangulation there.
Yes.
I met Katie at an event that you threw.
Yes.
That's kind of weird, right? That was a long time ago.
A long time ago.
so, 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 hey, Katie, glad you're in the building. I don't
Welcome.
know. I don't know what the weather is out there, but I hope you're okay.
Correct.
Won't be. I don't know because I don't know where it's snowing and where it's not. But anyhow, here's the thing. What I'm trying to say. Look, curiosity is underrated business skill. It's definitely. But people, you got to build your business skills. And I'll tell you, it hurts when we're practitioners and people come in. There's certain things. There's another level. Like I said, this is a step up this year. We use terms advisory and all this stuff. And people come in and say, oh, I want to be advised and all that. So let me take an example, for lack of a better word, let's just say the president of the United States. And, not going to name one or the other. So I'm just going to say it doesn't matter. But it's very difficult to advise somebody when they don't know anything. And if you prepare something for them to read, they don't read it. So how can we advise a business owner if the business owner doesn't learn more about their business? Yeah, we could get the basic questions. And usually the questions come in the form of, how can I ... How can I ... So now we got to go run, and that's fine. We go, and as an outsource, it comes kind of rough. We go find out what are your key performance indicators? What is this, and that? After we explain what a key performance indicator is, and then we say, okay, here. But my thing is, listen, some of this stuff, I can't. One of the biggest things, I ask this question a lot. Where are you trying to go?
Mm-hmm.
So how am I going to advise you?
That relates back to having a plan. That's just a simple plan.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, we beating it in the head because, as I said, we leveling up in 23. We leveling up. Now, Corey, who has not spoken much more because he's still drinking his coffee. And I'm just, I'm hyped up right now. But he's gonna kick in at some point. Watch. I haven't said the right thing to get him to kick in yet. That's all it is. But what I'm saying is that I'm just saying we gotta step up. So to step up, you gotta have some basics. You gotta have some basics. Even though the aforementioned ebook, and look, it's a methodology, is a thing, E-Myth, all right? And it's agreed upon in a lot of different there's 7 business systems. That's an E-Myth thing. Trademark. We adhere to that. We go to that. I mean, man, just to know that by itself, know the 7 systems. To even think about your business and that fact that there's 7 systems. Every business essentially has 7 systems. Some less, some more, some combine them, whatever. But it's not just the thing that you do. The thing that you do does not make the business. That's the thing you do. That's the production line. That's the client delivery, whatever. That's the thing that you do. But all the ancillary pieces are next to it. So what we find a lot in the community is people say, well, I don't know anything about that. Totally unacceptable. What do you mean? But yet, they go take the CEO moniker. I don't know nothing about that, but I'm the boss. So then how good is your company? If the boss don't know nothing about some critical parts of the business, how great is your company then? That's my question. Yeah, you might be making a lot of money, but your company, because the chances are that company is based on your efforts. So what you have is you've hired yourself at a pretty good job.
Create a position, yeah.
Yeah, you haven't created a business. And I'm saying we leveling up this year. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you good, you get contracts, you got sole source, you good with that. I ain't mad at you. What I want to be clear about is that my decisions in business don't have to be yours. I'm not that guy. But when you present yourself in certain ways, because of my experience, I expect certain things, for better or for worse. You know what I'm saying? Like if you say you this, I'm like, oh, okay. And what I mean by I'm not taking any shorts is that I'm not going to lower that anymore. Before it used to be, well, they don't understand. Well, you know what? I don't understand either. But guess what? When something happens in the hood, everybody finds that like that. And they understand it real quick. So why the heck should I be like, oh yeah, it's all good. They don't really know, and they don't do that, and so on and so forth, and give them a gentle touch. Then they go get in a Ferrari or something and tell you about they doggone trip to Maldives just because on MLK weekend they was like, oh, I'm going to Maldives. And you're like, really? No, I want to go to Maldives. Don't you want to go to Maldives?
Let's go.
Yeah, that's why I see. Side note, that's why I asked my pops last night. We talking about something with a client. He's like, yeah, she got so and so and this and that. I said, yo, you want an SUV? I want one. Don't you? It's like, so can we get our bread? Like, I mean, no shorts. So that's the first part of our program today. Like how you level up. I'm gonna start the show. Yo, level up is recorded. Every show we gotta have a level up topic. Gotta level up, man.
Yeah,
I
no
don't
doubt.
care if we bring books on here. I know we not sponsored. That's fine because I don't care about that. What I care about is people getting on. You need to read the email. You need to read something. Read your trade journal in your industry. Read something. Please read. Please. They said, and like I say, these mythical theys, CEOs read a lot of books per year.
Oh yeah,
Corporate
tons,
CEOs.
tons.
Yeah, they read a lot. If you read 12 a year, that's one book a month, and you can use all your books or something. Think about what you can learn, and just it's okay. I watch
Books.
Ratchet TV.
You got some books for them?
Well, we're going to stick with E-Myth.
Profit
We've
first.
already given them that and profit first, but I'm saying start with E-Myth. We talked about systems today. Start with E-Myth and understand it. Take your time. I don't care if you read one book this year. It's more than you did last year. Level up. Gotta level up. You got a bunch of these books out there, profit first. I got another. I got some pretty good ones. That I've read. 10X by Grant Cardone. The Lean Startup, Eric Ries.
Yeah, I had that one. 4-hour work week.
Yeah, man, there's tons of books. My goal in my litmus test is to get to 52
This is
a year.
good. The Checklist Manifesto.
The Checklist Manifestos. I haven't read that yet.
I haven't gotten all the way through it. I've used parts of it throughout, especially in certain classes that I teach. So
yeah,
but that's a good book.
Yeah. But you got audio books. You can listen to them. They got these things. I think is Blinkist and another thing I saw on AppSumo. Yeah, they have this thing on AppSumo where they got like video excerpts. That's right, and
they give you the transcripts too if you want to read it. But
yeah. So if you short on time,
the Morning Brew is another one I subscribe to in the morning. You get a bunch of information.
Oh, see, look, he's on top. See, I think we almost got him. One more goal, and he'll be in the game. So then, what I'm saying. So we leveling up. Gotta do something. It's okay. What I'm saying. It's not all or nothing. As I watch Ratchet TV. All right, look, I watch Ratchet TV. I got a selection of Ratchet TV and court shows that I watch. But I still read these books. And I got some, and I do a lot of courses too. Something through the great courses. I'm actually, I don't even know what I should say. Well, I'm taking this. I'm finishing this this great course on influence. As a matter of fact, maybe that's why I'm all charged up because one of the last chapters was on giving a great speech. So
Mm.
I'm feeling
Creating a
that.
framework and spilling out information.
Well, basically the theory, the pathos, logos, and mythos
Okay,
aspects
yeah.
is coming from philosophy, something I started reading on, but I'm definitely going to explore philosophy again.
Socrates and Plato.
Yeah, well, you like the Socrates from the bricks, you know what I'm saying? So, um, so you gotta be on a whole nother level. Know what I'm talking about, right there. So that's on another level, right? So, but it's what I'm trying to say is leveling up, man. That's what I'm gonna say it all year. Level up. I'm seeing the t-shirt already. There it is. Level up. That's the 2023. And as I said, go listen to Kirby Smart's speech. And that's what at the end of the year, you should be able to play that speech and be ready. Because there's information out here, people. And we're gonna share more of it this year too. And we got some great guests lined up this year. That's the energy we bring in. Because it's out here. Success is out here. And I know that sounded a little memeish, but I'm trying to tell you how to get to the success, not just that it's out there.
So
You
don't weather the storm, be the storm.
Yeah, and you'd be and the opportunity that is out here is wonderful. You can work with people just around the world.
Yeah, there's good people out here. There's a lot of good people.
They are, but
A
there's
lot of interesting people.
but the yappers, little
Well,
suspect.
we gotta have the yappers because I mean, it's just balance, right? I mean, they're out
No
there.
doubt.
You just have to listen. It's like cutting meat with a dull knife,
Yes, no.
right? I mean, that's all. You just gotta sharpen it. So it means you have to stay sharp. Like nothing happens outside of you. And I know people like blah 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 blah. I hear all of that all the time. Like you said, there's memes, there's social media stuff. But I mean, when you sit with yourself and you reflect with yourself and you talking to yourself, you can't deny the simple fact of whatever you say to yourself is gonna happen. If you're having a bad day and you talk down to yourself, you're gonna continue to have a bad day. If you have a good day, if you're motivated and you talking proper and you're enthused and you research and you finding this and you get your dopamine from all your little short wins, you're talking to yourself. So continuously sharpen. It's just a matter of just being honest with yourself. And it's not, it can be fun. Um, it's very challenging because you have to talk to people, you have to read, you have to strategize, you have to think. Creativity is not. If you think about it, let's give a visual, right? Artists, right? And whether we talking about somebody that paints, somebody that writes, somebody that's in the studio, they don't go into that particular moment. Sometimes they have a really enthused moment and they create a masterpiece right off the whim, right?
Mm-hmm.
But most times creativity takes some time. Then there's blockage, right? Then there's distractions that block the creative aspect of an artist. So they either have to take some time away or they have to go to another place, another location, remove the distractions to be able to tap into that. So as a business owner, it's not really that it can be that intense, but it doesn't have to be initially. As James is saying, just increase your reading. Put down your scope of what do you think you need to learn for your business and then map it out. I'm big on putting things on the calendar and mapping it out because it's there. You lending your mind to something that tangible that can hold that information. That way you can get back to functioning properly, right? And then you just set a goal to learn this, learn that, talk to somebody in the industry, talk to somebody that's familiar with it. Then you go back and you strategize, plan it, write it out, make sure your plan is good, and then you go to implement it. And then you keep tweaking. And again, it's frustrating. And then at the end of the day, it's rewarding. So, you just got to ask yourself, what do I want out of this business? How much do I need to live my lifestyle and be comfortable and make sure all the bills are paid and family members are taken care of? And once you have that set, it might seem like an uphill battle, But once you have that set, now you have something to look forward to, and you can start chipping away out of that small pieces. If you just have it in your head, that I think that's what we run across a lot is people that just have stuff in their head, and it's all over the place. It's sticky notes here, napkins over here, something they wrote on a whiteboard here, right? Put it in their phone. Maybe a conversation, a great enthusiastic conversation, but never did anything beyond that. And that's the challenging part where um I guess ego comes in, where they think they know it all.
Mhm.
No one want anybody to tell them, but they do want some help. Help me, but don't tell me.
Yeah.
Help me, but don't show me, right? And
Hmm.
yeah, we just have to be like you say, we have to level up. It's time to take that next step. No matter, just do it.
Yeah.
Period.
This is the first step, even if
Yeah,
you start from 0 to 1.
yeah. Imagine a dog chasing you, you end up in the tree. How'd you wouldn't go in the tree any other time?
Yeah. You wouldn't think. I got a funny story about that, which I will not say on air, but I've actually seen that. It wasn't exactly a tree, but it was a big man that got up on something. I couldn't believe he moved that fast. It was bananas.
Telling you. I mean, we had to run from dogs back in the day too. I got to a point where I stopped running from dogs though, because I was like, this is too much.
Yeah.
So I would just turn around, face them, scared to death, and I'll just start yelling or barking back at them, and they like,
Yeah.
"What?
And they like, he crazy.
What?"
He's
It
crazy,
didn't
man.
work all the time, but most of the time.
So we got our friend of the program. Well, first we had a great deal here. Dr. Askew said Audible can read to you.
Uh oh.
So you can say they can read, so you can get on Audible, you know what I'm saying, and it'll read to you while you riding around. 20 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day. Doesn't have to be. I mean, I know, you gotta listen to your music and whatever else you got going on. And you might want to listen to the next memoir and all that. But it's a little bit of something to
A
read. But
learning hack.
yeah, just a little bit of
A,
learning. It's
a learning hack. A learning hack would be to listen to your Audible while you're
yeah,
in the bed, getting ready to nod out to go to sleep. Because now you attacking the cognitive part of your brain, unconscious. So what you go to sleep with, you wake up with. So the in between is processing that information. So when you wake up, you might feel a little bit smarter, and you get through the day again.
told
Might
you
be a little,
that
might be a
coffee
little.
coffee kicking in. Man. So I told y'all, it was just I just had to
I'm just,
see that's what teamwork is about. See, I just had to carry it. In the fourth
yeah,
quarter, he gonna take us on.
no doubt. I mean, look, it's
Yeah, see, so
look, not listen, man. Just any problem you have is in a book. Somebody wrote something.
yeah,
Somebody had an experience, right?
yeah,
So it's really about just like just having depth.
yeah,
Gotta have depth. You gotta be like, how do I solve this problem? But how
yeah,
do I solve this problem so it don't come back? Because there's another problem coming around the corner. And then how do I not self sabotage myself? Think about it. We self sabotage, and that's not necessarily in a negative aspect. We can self sabotage in a positive way. They're like, what are
mhm,
you talking about?
yeah.
What are you
That's
talking about? Self sabotage in a positive way? Yeah, because when you think you standing on top and you can't get blown off, you'll get blown off or
you fall
crushed.
off all the time. Yeah,
Yeah, there you go. Hey, Marcus, set your own benchmark and not others' expectations. Right.
yeah.
Yeah,
Gotta
I'm gonna
walk.
add. I'm gonna add on to that
Hold up.
because
He got more on that though.
oh, you do okay. It's not the direction of the wind, but the set of your sails. Whoa,
Ooh. That's what I think. He's got his coffee.
whoa, whoa. So you mean you sailors are not made on calm waters,
Ooh, see, there it is. That
right?
coffee.
You're
Yo, we need
right.
a coffee sponsor,
I'm
people.
telling you. Listen,
It's coming in.
sailors are not made on calm waters.
Well, I mean, I know you were going to a point
Yeah.
about it, but I think I wanted to go back to something you said
Okay.
and kind of bring another topic in is productivity.
Hmm.
How to address your personal productivity. And I say it from the point from the coaching thing, from the biz therapy thing. I know you have a tool for it, but people that are out here, because I know there's a lot happening. Our world is, it's just more happening just in general. And well, we're aware of more now. It's the things have always been happening, but now because of the mobile device, this happened, that happened, someone got sick, someone
Mm-hmm.
had a bad day, someone, and legit, all jokes aside from the social media, there's aspects that life's coming up. So you're this business owner or aspiring business owner. You got all this stuff, software, apps, all this stuff. What are some of your recommendations on becoming more productive so that we can actually do some of the things that I've been spewing about like a nut for the last 30 minutes? so, as a coach, a pretty good coach, by the way. He has a
I
good
do all
coach.
right. I do all
He's
right.
all right.
I
I
mean,
told you,
I mean, I'm
listen to
trying to.
Kirby Smart. Go listen to Kirby Smart's thing. That's gonna be your orientation sound. No, I'm just saying.
You know, look,
That's your
yeah,
graduation speech. So, but
yeah.
yeah, productivity. I think that's a thing where people
So
get bogged down. And specifically, if there's a skill, how do I learn a skill when I'm fully grown? Because in America, we're conditioned that you go to school and that's the end. You could go to school for 20 years, what I mean, go all the way to PhD. But the concept is when I finish school, I don't really have to learn anything. So, I'm saying, like, how what's your thoughts on productivity and how people can, continue to level up, y'all? I'm telling you.
well, it's like you go through your phone, you take pictures on your phone, you out wherever in the world at whatever moment, you take a nice picture, and that picture becomes your wallpaper because you like that picture, you like that you envisioning that moment in that picture. You're like, wow, that's a dope picture, right? So, with all the tools in the world, it's really about just understanding what the tools are. So, envisioning what you want, see yourself there. But more importantly, it's really about removing, you have to constantly remove doubt within yourself at every single level you go through. Now, in the beginning, it's a long trip, but as you go, it becomes shorter. You get little spurts, but your confidence builds up enough where if a doubt kick in, you already know what tool or what strategy you need to put in place, right? And then you come up with there's a lot, again, there's a lot of systems, there's a lot of software, there's a lot of this, but it's really about understanding, okay, I'm under continuous improvement, so let me use a document or a tool for that. Then I'm gonna take my ideas, I'm gonna take my action items, I'm gonna take whatever those elements of that continuous improvement scope is, right?
Mhm.
You flip that into your workflow. Again, plenty of softwares for that. And in that workflow, there's subtasks, there's dependencies, and whether you have to dell it out, go find, do some research, gather, gather, excuse me, share information, team up with somebody to execute. You're able to set a milestone, a date. Once that's completed, check it off. You get to save it, and it goes where it needs to go. And then you move on to the next phase of making sure that it stays implemented. So, how do you implement and make sure it stays implemented? Well, that's a exercise. It's a repetitive exercise, and then in that, you along the way, because again, you can't build this by yourself. Even if you're doing your whatever you're doing by yourself, you still have a board of people. They could be your closest friends or family or whoever it is. In that communication, we must sharpen each other, right? Hey, I'm doing this. And then you or somebody else or whoever else in your circle could say, hey, I did it this way. Or just in general conversation, that group of people come up with a new thought, a new process, and you go back and you implement that. You try it out and see if it works, and then that's when you fold it over to the people in your organization, so on and so forth. So I say all of that to say it. No matter what tools you have, if you're not motivated to pick up the tool, you're not going to pick up the tool. You're not going to use the tool. You're going to keep giving yourself an excuse because that's what the mind does, right? We always find an excuse why we could do something later on. I don't have to do this right now. It's not important. Oh, I'm gonna do it when it gets close to the due date. You know what? Let me go and do this because this makes me feel better. And I don't want to do the unsexy things at the moment. I'll do it when I'm under pressure. Unconsciously, subconsciously, we do things under pressure because the pressure makes us feel like fear and it's detrimental, right? To not pay attention to it. So if we took that energy and we put it forthwith, we bottle it up and say, okay, if I could predetermine the consequence to this, then I could do this effectively and still have time to adjust down the road. So again, using certain tools, use a strategy, and it's just three phases. Boom, 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 done deal. And
So
you just rinse and repeat.
so all right, and obviously I understand it from some whatever, but do you think people may feel okay with everything I said about how business is portrayed? I'm this, I'm that, I'm president, CFO, CEO, whatever of that. Do you think people are afraid of saying that they have no idea how to do what you just said? So I guess what I'm
Yeah.
saying,
Oh yeah, I run across that a lot, right? Because
yeah. So like people thinking that we're saying it and we're kind of saying it in not in just, but we're saying it as factual things, and that's because we've studied under it. But do you see a position where people have to pretend that they understand what we saying or able to do it where they really don't know how to,
hmm
and they and that's a hindrance to them, you know, taking that first step to say, hold
yeah,
on,
hmm
I can't even follow a checklist, dude. I don't even know how to write a checklist.
hmm
You know what I'm saying? Do you feel? And then if that's the case, I mean, it's kind of answer my own question, but like how do we deal with that? How do we change that for our business owners? How do we make the difference or make that difference for them? Or
Well, it's about first of all, it's communication. You can't go anywhere without it, right?
mm-hmm,
And then it's leading with respect, and then it's building up the trust factors, and then it's being able to listen to them because a lot of times you listen to people, you have to listen to what's behind what they're saying, right? And that comes from the intent, your intent too, your intent, their intent, right? Because most times people won't. Intent is should never really been, hey, I'm going to do this, right? It should just be, this is done. This how this how it gets done, right?
mm-hmm,
Um, um, but I think I mean that's what I do with people. I try to align with whatever their difficulties are, and that may not be an initial conversation, but there's basic questions that you could kind of go through without knowing somebody on where their challenges or pain points are, right? And then you have the other layers because now you have to, again, it's self negotiating.
mm-hmm.
That's really what it boils down to. You have somebody has to say to you, you have to stop negotiating with yourself. This has to get done.
Yeah,
Period. And if you can't do it, fine. Put somebody in place to do it for you.
yeah,
And as an entrepreneur or starting out entrepreneur or whatever it is, you build relationships because you can actually build a team where everyone's helping each other to move along. And that might not be a financial relationship yet, but it might just be an opportunity relationship, in order to create the foundation needed, right? That's all. Like if I'm pouring concrete in my house and y'all know you got a patch and you need some concrete, I'm not gonna tell the guy, "Hey, I paid for all this concrete. You can go ahead and dump the rest in the garbage." Me personally, I'm gonna call whoever at the top of my head, say, "Got a concrete truck here right now with some extra. You need it? Bet on the way."
yeah.
Right?
And that's
So
building.
say that.
That's community building. That's
Yeah,
that you know
yeah, yeah,
ecosystem.
yeah. I mean, again, you can't really do anything by yourself. It's just I don't care how hard you try, you just can't do You can't build something by yourself. There's no way.
Mm-mm. No.
No way. None at all.
Yeah. Even if you
Not
frame
in
the wall, you need somebody to hold the studs. The other end of the stud for the first one, for the first tee. You gotta have somebody for it to be easy. You probably could put on the ground, but you gonna need somebody.
look,
So,
a wall ain't even a wall without a ceiling or a floor.
yeah. So
Right? So you
that's it.
look how that truth even plays out right there.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it's about the time the coffee's kicked in now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going now.
Did I answer your question though?
Yeah, it lays a groundwork because it's saying, where I was getting at is that what I feel as though there's a lot of what people I see when people have troubles or I hesitate to say failure, but have troubles. A lot of it sounds like I should have known that, you know, and I say without the things we were talking about earlier, is leveling up. How would you have known that? And even though I was talking about getting to know your industry, do you know how to run a business? And what I'm saying it is, if you don't, that is fine because there's enough information out here for you to learn, for you to run the business your way too. There's the thing. There's certain things that are absolute about it, but what's beautiful about it, and when we herald these geniuses of business or whatever, it's not that they've done anything significantly different out of the pack. They may have changed one approach, and because everybody is in lockstep going this way, and they say, "Oh, well, I'm gonna slightly go to the left," and it's revolutionary. And so, what I was getting at is, for our target, our community, the culture, we have a hard time admitting when we don't know things.
Yeah.
We have a very hard time, and especially if we're quote unquote successful. In other words, we made some money. But I'll tell you that some of the biggest idiots in this country make a lot of money. Making a lot of money to me does not mean that you're good at anything. If you want to go to sports, there's plenty of bums. There's multimillionaires. They played good enough in their contract year, and they got a check. That's like anything. I mean, I'll take my profession. You pass CPA exam and not be functional out here in the world. So we can't use certain things. And what I'm saying is that, just like, how do we get people to admit, man? And see, you've done it after people sign up for biz therapy, and then there's like they I guess they get vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? Once they get subjected to the K Donovan entry, then they're like, boom. And so I was just posing it kind of rhetorically in a way that, like, I think the first building block is saying that, well, you said it first, the plan. Do you want a business or do you want a job? That's the first question. Okay. And if you want a business, do you know how to build the business? And I
Well,
see, you
you're
know,
right. You're right. And I usually just go, um, I usually just go, what do you want?
yeah, but that's a tough question though, believe it or not.
Yeah, but you got to peel the band-aid off.
Yeah, you got to peel it out. I mean,
So what do you want? What what do you want? Like, honestly, I've had that question asked to me. The first time I ever had that asked to me, I was tripping over myself for the longest. And then
yeah,
the more I keep, but that's how you get somebody to open up. Is what do you want? What do you want? What are you looking for? What do you want? And
but do
once
you,
we get there, go ahead.
no, I was going to say, but do you feel that someone may answer that question without the prerequisite thought behind it because they feel like they should have the answer?
It don't matter. You know why? Because once the question is asked, now you have to figure out what the answer is, and whether they verbalize that or not. They're
So they
gonna
got
be
to
they're
internalize
gonna
the question.
they got to deal with it themselves,
Yeah.
right? And so what do you want? What do you want? What are you expecting? What are your expectations of X, Y, and Z? And when you ask that question, again, for me, when I ask that question, if you want to answer it, cool. If you don't know how to answer it, tell me. if you don't want to answer and you don't want to tell me, cool. But now it leads to when you say you want this, I can't get you here, or I can't share with you this for you to understand it because you're not jumping over this hurdle
Yeah.
because everything is the same, everything is aligned, everything is connected.
Yeah. So I think, well, I guess the bottom line of this is that, I mean, you gotta be honest with yourself. I mean,
Yeah.
that's it,
Well, well, that's a conundrum in itself. You know why? Because you can be okay. You can be delusional
you know, yeah, I
and
know.
think you being truthful and being honest with yourself.
Well, when I say honest with yourself, I mean you have to be factual with yourself.
So that's why I go, yeah. That's what. So you do you want the truth? Can't handle the truth. No, you go. What do you want? That's different because now somebody can say, or somebody, or someone's could say, "Oh, you want that? Well, did you do this, or did you do that, or how do you plan on doing that? If you don't do this, or if you do this, you should do that." So what it does is focus on the logical aspects and the steps, and it's not an emotional, dreamy. You know, are you being honest with yourself? That's confrontation because it creates confrontation within that person because they easily seize up and go, "What do you mean? Am I being honest with myself? Why would you? What gives you the right to ask me that? Did I say something or do
Exactly.
something?"
Get indignant. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so you don't approach it in that aspect.
Well, this is how I've done this, and I've done this to people, especially when they're in business early in my career. Well, it probably wasn't as polished as I am now. If you think I'm polished now, but you know what, people have always tell me something. Oh yeah, I'm doing a business. I need the money. I just need the money. And so the exercise I've done with many people, I said, okay, if I were able to give you $100,000 right now, what would you do with it? And about the majority of them would sit there. They would just be like, huh? I said, yeah. It's if I gave you, so that's a reverse of it. It's like, what do I want? I'm gonna tell you something that you have alluded to what you wanted. So you haven't prepared to get what you want. Because and that's the thing with business. It happens, it doesn't happen like TV. Like TV, if you watch a TV show, it's an hour time. Beginning and the end. The end has to be the resolution. I find in business, you wake up and you realize you reached your goal. You're like, oh snap! Wait a
And
minute.
then you ain't even playing for the next phase. So you
Yeah,
like stoic.
you just out here like, oh wow,
Yeah, yeah.
wow, okay. And so, I guess where I'm getting at in this last section, so we don't lose the folks, is saying that I think there's a you have to have some vulnerability, even when you so called, make it or what have you. You have to have some vulnerability to get good. A lot of the lessons we have are not native lessons in our marketplace, in our community. A lot of these business lessons are not common knowledge. A lot of these items, they're not teaching you in undergraduate or graduate. Even if you go get an MBA, MBAs are targeted towards high level Fortune 500 businesses.
Mm-hmm.
The principles are the same, the scope is different, and you're executing with hundreds of people in every function. But when you come back and say, I'm going to start from where I am and I want to build towards an enterprise, you're not going to know everything. You just not. I mean, I tell the story and I probably said it before. When I started the firm, I've always worked for my father, done taxes for him, done bookkeeping, all that stuff. So I learned about CPA profession. CPAs are making, they tell you, oh, they make good money, arguably like that. I can honestly say I was like, I have no idea how a CPA firm makes money. Like in relation to how what me and my father were doing. I'm like, man, yeah, I had to do like 1,000 tax returns to be do some of this stuff.
Because it's the hustle, right? It's
Yeah,
the you're the
but when
one
I
man
wake up in
army.
hustle mode, yeah,
Yeah.
like I'm like, how do these things do? So what I did, I studied. I studied. I got the license. I had clients. I studied. I'm like, yo, how
All right,
this is,
look. So you studied,
yeah,
right? Okay, well watch this. When you study for this and you had to dig your heels into becoming a CPA, you had to understand what processes and systems, how things work, right?
yeah. Well, I had to
Because you
understand
had
what I
to
wanted first.
no, well, no, I understand that. Yeah, that's the first part is what do you want? But then I think the next piece is the next connector is understanding how things work.
Yeah,
And that's not something that's taught. If you look at a lot of the information out there, people are just like, "Oh, did you know this? And did you know that? And you know that? You know, right?" And it's like how do you make the connection? Because we've been taught that the systems are us
hmm,
and
yeah,
that it's not and we become uncomfortable sharing and creating and building, right? So if we say, okay, if we know what we want and then we begin to understand systems, so technology, how technology works, well, how does that technology remove, if I got to do 5 steps in order to deliver on this product or service, right? And I have software in place and it can remove 3 of those steps. I only have 2 steps, so now I get some of my time back. Now, how do I get these two? How do I get one more step out of the way so I can only focus on this one step? Or how do I get rid of these 2 steps so I don't have to do any? So
yeah,
now it's like, okay, now I can put a person in place to handle these 2 steps because that is the manual part of it. That's the human side of it. But the systems can get that person to only handling those last 2 pieces for a deliverable. Make
yeah.
sense?
So, oh yeah. So, but basically, what we saying is, we started, in my level up opening monologue, that yeah, the E myth. I mean, the E myth is something that, because I'm gonna summarize a lot of what we talked about. You can't do this stuff on your own. You need a system, and on your own, it doesn't necessarily mean you need a person. It could be software. It could be a
Mm-hmm.
virtual person.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
you can't do everything on your own. You got to build systems. Two, you got to admit when you don't know how to do something.
Mm-hmm.
As the leader of, or the head of anything, at some point you have to admit when you have a shortfall.
That's the difficult part because of the embarrassment threshold.
Yeah. But
That's
if you about it, who you gonna be embarrassed to? The only person you embarrassed to yourself.
true.
I mean, you don't know. So I mean, it's almost like, and I think that's what I was kind of getting to, and we probably explore it some more. Learning, when you start a business, your learning has just begun. Just because you know how to do whatever you do, that's the beginning. That's like the prerequisite. The learning has just begun, because we don't go to school for everything. We don't go to school for sales. We don't go to school for, if you have a trade or you have a profession, you haven't taken business development courses. Yeah, I haven't. You may or may not have taken marketing courses, but they're real surface if you did. Um, Finance, forget about it. I told you that's the last person picked in the pickup game, the finance person. Yeah, we need them to make the teams even. Get the finance guy, get the accountant. All right. You know, Strategic planning, who teaches that? I know you do, but you know what I mean. Where you go find that? Um, HR, I mean, it goes, if we hit the 7 systems, they're not taught anywhere. They're not even
No.
introduced anywhere. So, but there's this belief that we're supposed to just know them. Once we call ourselves business people, you know what I mean? Like it's I'm this. So what you get is this bravado that's out front, instead of somebody saying, "Look, I done started this thing. I'm running it. You know, I need some help." And willing to pay for it. I had to throw that in before the end of the show. Willing to pay for it. But I think that is an excellent, because we're at the top of the hour, an excellent segue to discuss biz therapy, because that's what we've been talking about. I mean, really. I mean, I was waiting for you to wake up to pick up on it. Now I'm just saying, like I was waiting for the
I mean,
coffee.
yeah, but yeah, I'm there though. I'm there. I'm still,
Yeah.
I'm there. So yeah, I mean, business therapy. Look, business therapy is just it's a way for us to uh to help people get in position, right? And because we deal with the dark side of business. Like there's
Yeah.
there's beautiful businesses, vainglorious businesses. Hey, did you go here? And did you go to this restaurant? Did you go to this? Did you buy this? Did you do this? So, a lot of people, are consumers approach, right? And then the business owners, yes, they're trying to satisfy the client so they can generate revenue. And the revenues at the top of the market, right? But it's the back end things that is what we at Biz Therapy provide is how do you position yourself? How do you wrap your head around this in order to make sure that it's executed? Because if it's like an engine, if you don't change the oil,
Mhm.
it
Yeah.
is not going it's not going to get you nowhere, right? It's yeah, you might have to pull over on the side of the road and it's raining or it's snowing or it's cold or it's 130 degrees out to make sure you heard something. Let me pop the hood, check my oil, right? And see what is missing. So biz therapy pretty much helps you. The conversation is straightforward. It's an open place for you to express your concerns. We have one-on-ones, we have cohorts, but there are systems and processes that are put in place because my experience with myself and through my journeys of being in corporate and kind of understanding things, and then being amongst my team of growth partners is that when you deal with the approach, you focus less on the emotion when you're trying to help someone,
Mhm.
right? There's times that motions or how you feeling or concerns do come up. They absolutely come up, and it's important for them to come up, and it's important to talk about them. But then let's look at how that thing relates to what you need to get executed or what you need to learn,
No doubt.
right? So I had, like, for example, and one of my students was telling me that, well, we were just conversating going through the lesson, and I'm hearing what this individual's saying, and I'm like, why do you keep talking yourself out of taking the next step for this one particular thing? And that person was like, you know what, I'm not even sure why. And I said, I'll tell you why. If you look at the last date that you updated this particular document, that's over a week ago. Now, if you rewind back a week ago, if you would have went through process one, and it was only 3 steps, if you'd have went through these 3 steps, would that have gotten you to where you are now, that you need to be now? And the individual was like 100%. And I was like, well, tell me how. And they just took that time to think about it, process it. And I'm like, well, now you see why it's important to use your process and your system. So you remove the the emotional part is still going to be there, but you're not acting on it in your head because you have something that's holding you accountable that needs to move you forward. So
Yeah.
and then we help you just create the foundation. Now we could get into tax planning with James and the firm. Now we could talk about, you know um whatever. There's this new thing
Yeah.
now with people talking about trust on the all over social media. But if you yeah, we gotta listen, having a trust and having and then trust holding on to this and doing this and
Oh,
doing
that's what they talking
that's
about right
that
now.
yeah, that's a lot of that been going on.
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah,
have some. You gotta have some money to put in the
th-
trust.
oh, this listen what I'm saying. They just spilling this stuff. Did you know if you had a trust, your trust on your LLC, and then you put all your belongings in there, and nobody could touch you, and this and the third. This is how millionaires are doing, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, but watch this. No one's teaching our community that. We trying to figure it out. But at the same time, you can't get there because that's a process. Not only is that a process, that's systems, but that's constant learning.
Yep. I think that's
That's
the
the next level of right of understanding that okay, usually when you do your forecast, you start out as 20% increases or 20% whatever margins, right? But then you have to say, all right, maybe 20% for the next year is really I can't really hit that and sustain it. So I gotta maybe now you could back that down to what's the formula and where do I need to start in terms of percentages and work your way up.
yeah.
That's like the you'll forever have to learn that.
Yep. So what you have to do, and I'm ready to close this out.
All right, close this
You
out.
got to
What's that?
continue to level
Level
up.
up. 2020 tree.
Yep. And then
BHAG. What is your BHAG? What is your BHAG, people? What
yep.
is your BHAG? Level up. But what is your BHAG? Your big, hairy, audacious goal.
Wow.
If it ain't scaring the crap out of you, it ain't big enough.
Yeah, that's true. Definitely. Definitely. So
Right? So,
with
boom.
that being said,
Now
yo,
yield back.
you got to put the pen down though. I yield back. Put your pen down. Like yes, like we're at the United Nations. I yield my time. So that being said, listen, I'm dead. I'm serious. Leveling up 2023 through 2024. I don't care. We don't have to stop. We shouldn't stop leveling up. But I think it's time for us to really push the conversation forward. And it's okay to be afraid. It's okay not to know, but there's people and information sources out here to learn. So be there. We are one of those sources. So feel free to send any questions to us um, at hello@haywardcpa.com. That's why we getting all these bananas emails. We put it out here. But anyway, hello@haywardcpa.com. If you want to reach for us about some services, and or you could go check biztherapy.info if you're
Yes,
really
sir.
interested. If you seriously, and this is aside from my usual rah rah, if you're feeling like you one of the biggest things, you feel like you're working your tail off and it's nothing's really happening for you, like you're not getting any bread, like you're on the even though we don't measure just in money, but look, we keep score. That's what the deal is. You keep score to make money, and you feel like that's not happening, or you feel like you're you're suffocating, your business is suffocating you. It happens to everyone, and people have different ways to work their way out of it. So biz therapy is for you. You know what I'm saying? We got products at the firm to address one of your systems, the accounting system. That's what we there for. We are there to address and work with experts in accounting systems, but experts in your business and the psychology and the sociology that goes around running and building a business is it's different, and our approach to coaching goes that way. It's not just here's a business plan. Is that it's like the business plan and the founders have to be in step. So you can't have somebody else write your business plan. How could you have somebody else write your business plan? You can have somebody else write your life plan. Like you got to live your life and you got to live your business. So so just check it out. It's in the comments, biztherapy.info. We could reach us at Hayward CPA. It's all good. You might see this cut as a commercial on Instagram now because it sounds pretty good. And so and then and have a beautiful, beautiful week. Don't forget, we will be replaying episodes every other Saturday. Probably something from the archives every other Saturday here on these same bat channels. So please join us, probably specifically on our Facebook page. Be replaying episodes. And you could always see back episodes on our YouTube channel, which we'd love for you to go subscribe and hit the notification button. And on our pages, on our blog at haywardcpa.com/blog. haywardcpa.com/blog. So we got it going. So look, we're gonna get up out of here because it did not snow, at least from what I see.
I saw some flakes this morning.
Yeah, I think that's past. But after that 2 hour marathon a couple weeks ago, we want we want to make moves. So, but thanks for tuning in. And once again, any comments, questions, concerns, fears, let us know. All right. Chuck up deuces. We out.
Peace.